And now you might imagine that everything we've done thus far can get really unwieldy because the blocking of inheritance happens on the OU, but the enforcement happens on the individual GPO. And as you can see, just to accomplish a very simple removal or movement of kiosk computers into their own OU caused us to have to create enforcement and blocking in multiple different locations. And so it's for this reason that, in fact, even using blocking or enforcement is something that you really want to minimize. It's not really a best practice to use, except in the rarest of circumstances. But we still need to have some mechanism then to apply the GPOs that are important, but not those that aren't. Thankfully, Microsoft provides here in the Group Policy Management Console the ability to tailor down where these GPOs get applied through the use of either security filters or WMI filters. Well, let's go back here and remove everything that we configured thus far. Let me remove the block inheritance. Let me also remove the enforcement here on the default domain policy and also on the WSS client configuration here. Because recall that our original goal was just simply to not have that configure VPN settings GPO apply here to this organizational unit of kiosk computers. Let's take a different approach that instead uses security filtering to ensure that these VPN settings don't get on those company kiosk computers. Back here in Configure VPN Settings, you can see down here this list of security filtering right here, where you can enter in a group, an Active Directory group, that will allow you to define when this GPO should apply. This can be a named user, this can be a named computer, or a group of either users or computers. And so for this GPO, it's potentially feasible for us to click the Add button here and then add in an Active Directory group that contains those kiosk computers that we want to prevent. Let me just punch in here company kiosk computers, which is a group that I created in Active Directory users and computers. And now as you can see here, this GPO is now configured to apply to the company kiosk computers. But this does exactly the opposite of really what we're intending to accomplish. We don't want this GPO to apply, as opposed to the fact that we do want it to apply. And so when that's the case, you actually have to dig just a bit further in order to create the deny permission for any groups of users or computers. Let's flip over here to the Delegation tab, where if we come down here to the Advanced view, we can take a look at the advanced view of the different settings that have been applied for this GPO. Right down here you can see the insertion of that company kiosk computers that we did just a second ago. And down here, if I scroll down, you'll see that the Apply Group Policy Allow permission has been configured for those kiosk computers. Well, if I wanted to actually deny the kiosk computers, I could potentially do so by just choosing the Deny permission as opposed to the Allow permission for Read and Apply Group Policy. If I then hit OK, I'll get a little error message here that warns me about the deny permission. I'll be okay with that because I just want to show you here that under scope that notice how the company kiosk computers has been removed from the list where the GPO applies.